All right, we are live.
Did you play the video already?
No.
Oh. That's probably Bert.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. Do you want to be a DJ? Then just like Brittany says, you gotta work. Do you want to learn how to become a DJ in a cool place like this? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sounds by Shelly. This is DJ Shelly signing out from the Fuge in Warminster, Pennsylvania. See ya.
Alrighty.
We're live.
We're live.
So, hey guys, welcome to our first podcast. We've been talking about this for a while, but we're finally doing it today. So we're getting started so that we could bring DJ tips and advice and just talk basically everything DJ with you guys. Also because it's so hard to, especially if you run your own mobile disc jockey business, or if you're just the business owner for your DJ business, it's very hard to do everything by yourself, whether you're DJing events, doing your marketing, doing your planning, and then also on top of that, trying to have a YouTube channel has been very challenging. So I figured instead of taking time away from doing all the editing with some of the videos that I normally do, having our live podcast would just be a lot easier. And hopefully we would be able to consistently then put these videos up for you every week. So, Nathan Barta,
Shelly.
what would you like to talk about first?
Well, I was also going to say with that, and it also helps us interact with you guys and just, because we do get a lot of questions about different things. A lot of people, there's a lot of bad reputation about DJs and what they do, and, oh, they're just standing there playing buttons, pushing buttons and whatnot. So being able to do this and interact with you guys allows us to be able to explain what we actually do and be able to show you guys how much is actually involved with it as well. So that's definitely a big part of it as well.
Right. And as far as tips, how you can go full-time as a DJ, because I do this full-time for a living. I own my own entertainment company, Michelle Entertainment, and I'm a DJ. Nathan's a DJ. We have DJ Joey Nichols on the team, and we also offer photography, videography, but I also thought I would bring some tips for some of, I do have a lot of DJs that ask me, well, how do you go full-time? How do you book jobs? And we thought we could talk about that on these podcasts as well.
Yeah. And there's also so many great stories that we have.
I know.
It is definitely an interesting job with tons of things happening and so much going on and so much goes wrong and so many crazy places and people are crazy. Just right off the bat.
Yes.
So
we thought we'd share some of those stories with you, as well as also we definitely want to hear from you. What has happened in your DJ life? Like what's something crazy that happened, or maybe, a guest or someone that you dealt with that was just kind of out of the ordinary, or something you'd like to share about what's happened with you. We want to hear, and we'll share that on the podcast as well.
Yeah, there's a ton we can talk about. So we're going to try to do this every week. Like we said, be here for you guys. If you catch the live streams, be sure to comment. Right now we're doing them Monday around 12 Eastern Standard Time, so that would be the best time to get it live. And if you do come live, we'll interact with you guys. If you pose any questions, we can answer those questions on the stream. But then also with the YouTube as well, post any comments below, any questions you guys have, anything you guys want us to talk about, any stories that you have, any stories that you want us to talk about, anything really, so that we can cater to what you guys want to hear.
I know, and I also wanted to share some of the comments that I get on my YouTube channel, because some of them are just so off the wall.
Yeah.
Some of them definitely are instigating me to get upset by things. Some of them are awesome, and of course I appreciate those all the time. So we will also talk about different comments that subscribers or viewers leave on the channel.
Yeah.
So should we talk about DJ life first, or should we talk about equipment?
So what's one experience you could think of right now that we could start off with?
Well, I know one of my favorite stories of our DJ life was the day we hosted a huge event in New York for 500 employees. It was a corporate event.
Huge corporate event. Had this crazy football theme. These two awesome planners.
Right.
Yeah, and it was just it was a crazy event all around. So much fun, so different. We had a great time. And then we had 15 minutes to pack
Pack up.
everything up, get in the car, drive from New York City back to Philly, and then host an event.
Opening events gala for the special events industry at the new Fillmore, Philly, which was so awesome. And in general, I do not normally book 2 big events like that in one day. I think it's just too much, but
was too
unfortunately it happens. The corporate event was scheduled for a different day and it rained and they were having it outside. So they called me at the last minute and said, hey, can we switch it to this date? And I had to call Nathan. I couldn't even give him an answer because I said, Nathan, like, do you really think we can pull this off? Because if any of you have traveled to New York or if you live in New York, you understand the traffic in New York, not to mention the traffic in Philadelphia. So we were just really, it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half drive in between the two. And that's without traffic if you hit the New Jersey Turnpike. And New York and Philly and the entire New Jersey Turnpike is known for traffic. So it could have been really bad, but fortunately New York was nice to us that day.
And not to mention that I was costume changing, which, because I'm a female DJ, and it's also a way that I market my company, we specialize in unique events. So not only does being a female DJ make me different, but I also like to take it one step further, and we will, I guess, kind of go along with the theme. I kind of hate using the term theme because I don't think we're like themey, but the unique events that we do. So the corporate event, I was actually dressed as a cheerleader.
We have pictures too of this for you guys. So we went from Shelly being, well, first of all, here's the event. We can just show it off. So it was in New York City. It was a football themed corporate event. Outdoor in the parking lot, really nice. They did an awesome job with this. Of course, New York, so they're all Giants fans, so everything was red and blue. And then they had all the football teams represented. They had so much amazing food. They had a stage for us to be on. They had a raffle where they were raffling things off. It was just an awesome event. Beautiful day for it, too. It worked out nicely with that after the one rain delay.
Yeah, it was like so much fun. And then we also had the football throwing contest, which is part of what I do with my events, is that I not only DJ, we not only host it, but one of the ways I've actually learned to grow my business is by looking at myself more as an entertainer, not just a DJ. So we had a ton of activities planned for them, and they love the football throwing contest. And that went really well. And so that event finished, and they had a drone.
Yeah, they had a
That was
drone there,
awesome.
and they were taking video and recording from the drone. So that was really cool.
Yeah. But so we finished that event, and we got packed up, and then, you didn't show the cheerleader picture.
Oh, yeah, so here's Shelly as the cheerleader. We've got Shelly. This is taken from, I don't know if this was taken from a selfie stick or from the drone. I think it was from the selfie stick, actually. But, yeah.
That's a pretty good picture from a selfie stick.
Yeah. Well, I'm a pretty
pretty
tall
tall.
guy and a 7-foot selfie stick, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a cool party.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they actually had a cook there who had a giant smoker and was smoking ribs and wings and sausage, and the food was amazing.
I know, and that's
perks of the job right there.
It is the perks of the job, although I hate it because I feel like I'm constantly running around the entire time, that I unfortunately hate that I don't get to eat at some of these events, and I'm making that a priority in 2016 because we always have, 99% of the time clients are always telling us to, you're more than welcome to help yourself, and I think that's also something I wanted to bring up as far as growing your business, just being really conscious about that. I never just go and take food at an event.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do that. I think it's kind of rude. Wait, I'm sure you have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
I'm just saying I wish you could always just get food. There's sometimes where you can't. Sometimes people don't think of it. But
I know. Normally, I don't ask because I feel it's tacky, and sometimes it's normally just an oversight. If I know the person, sometimes I ask, but for the most part, they'll usually offer it, or even the caterer will offer it. But yeah, that is a perk of DJ life. We usually get pretty great food.
I mean, the big thing with that too is if you're cool with say it's a wedding and have a good relationship with the couple built by communicating with them and doing different things. It's all about, like, if you're good to them, they'll be good to you. That's just how it is. So if we go up, we try to make sure we talk to all the people. So we're talking to the planners, we're talking to the caterers, we're talking to the florists, we're making sure, we're exchanging cards with them so we have their information. Especially when we go to different places around the country and we might not have that many, so we're based out of Philly, so we might not have that many contacts based out of Maryland or based out of Carolina. So when we go down there, we try to meet as many people as possible. And the other big thing with that too is when you're nice to the caterer, normally they give you food.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. So I mean that's just a rule of
and
life
some of the
right
caterers that we've worked for, I mean, Garces, DeBruno Brothers, Steven Starr, like, I mean, those are pretty much some of the top caterers in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Catering by Design, who we love, that works out of the Mutter Museum. So there's so many awesome caterers, but there's nothing better than when the client emails you and says, what would you like for dinner? The filet mignon, the salmon, the crab cakes. Darn it, Nathan.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
What should we have tonight?
And then there's also the side of the food that we're on the road so much that we really should get like a Wawa sponsorship. I think that's what we need. We eat Wawa like 5 days a week.
That's so funny.
Honestly.
I put that in my notes as one of the topics that we were going to talk about because I was thinking the same thing. I think we need to buy, well, they're not public yet, I don't think. Wawa's not public yet, right?
Buy their stock, have a
But
share
as soon
in
as
it.
they go public, we definitely should have a share in their stock. I mean, we're there. We live off Wawa, especially during our busy season because when we're driving down to D.C. or if we're driving to New York, we're always rushing around because, I mean, I'm sure you know if you DJ how fast events can go by. So getting there, getting unloaded, getting set up,
I think it was either Memorial or Labor Day weekend. We had like 5 jobs in a row because it was like, so you had a job Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I think I ate Wawa 8 to 10 times within those 5 days because it's also so conveniently located for us. So it's like anywhere we're going to a job, there's a Wawa right there, and you hit the Wawa on the way. And like I would get back late at night and be like, okay, I need food. Oh,
no, or the worst
right
is when we go to a state that they don't have a Wawa. That's the worst. I mean, there's Sheets and there's like some of the other ones that are similar.
They don't compare.
Nothing compares to Wawa. I mean, it's seriously like the best.
No, my stipulation is like if I ever move, there has to be a Wawa within like a 10-mile radius. Like nothing else compares. It doesn't.
I feel so happy that there's a Wawa literally like right down the street from me.
There's one like up 2
there's
blocks
one right
from
down
me
there
too.
for you too.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is awesome. But because then there's gas, like you can pretty much just get everything that we need there. So
Yeah.
if you can't tell, we like Wawa.
And we're also getting really sidetracked. So back to our story about our crazy day.
Oh, right.
So we had 15 minutes. We had to pack up. We had to drive back to Philly, and then we get to the Fillmore, which is a fantastic venue, amazing, looks beautiful. And she goes and she has to get changed into her costume. I don't know if you're ready for this. I really don't know if you're ready for this. Boom. There's Shelly.
From cheerleader to what Bert called me, fallen angel. Fallen angel. Yeah, that was, well, the funniest part is some of the conversations that go on between us that sometimes I felt like we should seriously just have, like, be recording our conversations because while we're loading up from the car, I'm like, whatever you do, don't mess up my wings.
Yeah.
And then, or having a meltdown because I thought I forgot my tutu.
Yeah, so many crazy things happen all the time. It's ridiculous.
And that's why I love specializing in unique events because there's always something different going on. And it was awesome to be invited to DJ for the opening gala in the special events industry for the Fillmore because the Fillmore is a famous music venue. Jimi Hendrix has played at the original one. Mm-hmm. I think the Doors did too, right?
Well, I know the one we were at, the Philly one, they had the Struts. They had so many different people come in, like, right after us. You can't really see
Hall
it.
& Oates, I think,
Hall
opened
& Oates
it.
open. But if you look, so on the picture there, the big red thing behind her is actually her DJ facade, which was made by our good friend
Gil
Gil
Wellsford with Sparks Entertainment. He's awesome. And actually, the best part about that DJ facade is it resembles one that Luke Bryan uses on his tours, which is just so cool. I mean, I love all music, but Luke Bryan, if there's country, I absolutely love his country music. And so I told Gil, what we were doing. And I said, hey, can you help me out? We're DJing the opening of the special events gala. And this is another reason why it's so important to network and to build great relationships in the industry, because then Gil came along and said, hey, I have this awesome DJ facade that I can build for you, and that it looks similar to this, and it'll totally go with, because I don't know if you can tell here, we were going with the total heaven and hell theme for our section. So Gretchen, who is the event planner for the Fillmore in Philly, when she brought all of us on, meaning the entertainment and the caterers and what have you, she let us know that we could kind of have open
free range to kind of do what you want.
Oh my gosh, it's just so awesome as a DJ or as an artist to get free reign to do whatever you want is awesome. It's obvious. I had so much fun, so I knew right away I wanted to do the wings.
Yeah,
we wanted to do the Heaven Hell theme. We brought along Kimmy, so you were kind of like, I don't even know really what you were. Just stood there and looked serious.
I was the
guardian.
I was the I can't even come up with anything. I'm tech support. I kind of show up, I set everything up. And
he dresses how I tell him to dress.
And then I sit in the background for the whole time and wait for things to go wrong so I can fix them.
Yes.
That's pretty much the extent of what I do.
Well, no, you DJ too. Because a
do.
lot of times I have to MC, or I'm also very interactive, so you always take over DJing when needed. And then we invited Kimmy to come out because I wanted to have the whole Heaven and Hell theme, and obviously, or Heaven and Hell Purgatory type theme.
Here, I just pulled up another picture of it. So it's actually, give me a second.
So Kimmy came to be our vixen.
So here's another picture we have of it, where you can see the facade a lot better, and then also behind us you can actually see who is playing it. So they had Creepoid, Have Mercy, Flight School, The Struts. So
which was so, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but so cool that they were playing when we're doing a Heaven Hell theme, like Have Mercy.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. So there's a lot of really cool places, and this is just, we're in the lobby. I mean, that's we weren't even in
the Ajax room.
The Ajax room.
I wouldn't call it the lobby.
No, it was
Ajax
room. There was I guess it was a bar room, yeah, but like the
bar room, they have a huge bar in there.
Yeah. There's
they
like
have
7 bars.
The American flag.
There's like 7 bars.
It's awesome. It's just so awesome. I'm so glad that we were able to play there, and I definitely can't wait to go back. I hope we book some other events there.
Yeah.
So that was our big day from New York to the Fillmore in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? What happened at the Fillmore that night?
It was just a cool night. There was a lot going on. So there's so many different people there. Awesome food once again.
Well, I liked what Caitlin did. So, I think continuously as I think of things, I would like to bring you tips to grow your business if that's what you're looking to do. If you want to become a mobile disc jockey, or if you just want to own your own DJ business. One of the things Caitlin came up with, which I thought was a great marketing idea, because I'm a female DJ, they were giving away gift bags, and they allowed each company to put different items in the gift bags to give away to the guests that came that night. So rather than just give a business card, we wanted to do something different that people thought was fun. So Caitlin came up with the idea to have little lipsticks attached to my business card with a little bow. Because I'm a female DJ, I use that to my advantage. Like, I really like to push that. It helps people who are looking specifically for a female DJ find me. And then, so I feel, what's your DJ business, and what target market do you have, or what makes you stand out and makes you unique, and then really just use that to your advantage, especially in your marketing. Yeah,
I'm being unique, definitely, because like I said, we get cards from all the different people we meet, and one of my things I do is I go through the cards and I input them, or I should be doing more of, but I have a bag sitting under my desk right now of over 1,000 business cards. And
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I was wondering how you were coming along with that.
So with like going through all of these business cards, there are some that I could pull out instantly and show you, like, this is the best business card in there, because there's so many are just generic. If it's too white, if like all you have is text on there, not a nice logo or a picture across it, it kind of just gets lost. It's nothing that you look at and you're like, wow, like, and I really want to see this. So.
And you're spending the money. So, you're getting a call.
Phone is ringing.
Nathan, it's for you. And look who tells who to turn their phone.
That is not that's the house phone.
Okay.
It's not on me. My cell phone is
So-
off. Thank you.
Anyway, back to the business cards. Yes, it's a huge thing. You're already spending the money. Don't waste that money. It's like, if anything, you should probably spend that couple extra dollars to make your business card really stand out, because that does make a huge difference. Like, if you're looking through,
Yeah, definitely.
especially if you're out there networking with a lot of people. And then the one thing that I started doing was I started wearing the red headphones when I went out to networking events. And it was definitely a little weird at first, because I'm not used to walking around with big headphones, but I attend a ton of networking events. I meet so many people, and it's so hard to remember people's names or what they do or what business are they in or with or who do they work for. So when I started wearing the headphones, people just, now they recognize me as DJ Shelley or Michelle Lee, and they know who I am right away. And it's pretty awesome, because it just made things so much easier for me as far as growing my business.
Yeah. That's honestly one of the very difficult things with the industry, but also is very important, is remembering people. Because I know she was already really incorporated with all these different groups when I started with the company, and I would start going to these networking events with her, and all of a sudden, like, hundreds of people know her, and she knows hundreds of people, and I'm like, okay, this person does this person does this person does this.
It's
Like,
hard.
there's so much you should remember. But remembering somebody's name, remembering something about them, and, like, being able to, like, go, hey, like, how are you doing? Insert name here. Like, it really stands out as in, like, oh, like, if I remember them, then they should remember me. So it's definitely very important to...
Or just gives them a good feeling, like, oh, wow, you remembered who I was. And they're just more inclined, like, it's another step in building, like, a stronger relationship with, and hopefully doing business with them. Because if you remember their name, they know if they refer a client to you that you're going to have just as much, I don't know what it's like, attention to detail, or just as much care or concern for their client as you have for them. And then on another note to add to that, because it's a really good point, I wear the headphones. Gil with Sparks Entertainment does something so funny. He says, my name's Gil, like the fish. Or he says, just remember the fish and think of me. But those little things are definitely, like, to come up with something that makes you different and stand out so that people will remember you is really important too.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Nathan.
You can do Beats by Barda.
I'll just carry on drumsticks all the time. There we go.
There you go.
I'll drumstick sash.
So that's a little bit about our DJ life, and we're going to bring you, I guess, examples from lots of our crazy events and crazy things that happen to us while we're on the road. But the next thing we want to talk about was DJ equipment. So every podcast, we want to talk about a piece of DJ equipment, why we like it or don't like it, or why we think it might work for you. So today, I wanted to talk about the Newmark Mix Deck Express.
Yeah, we got our mix deck. This is our go-to right here.
It is our go-to for a number of reasons, and I just really, really love this controller. And what really caught my eye at first was the price tag. If you own your own business, you have to watch your money. You have to watch where you're spending your money, and also you have to look at every single piece of equipment as an investment. So I bought it because I thought it does look more simple and basic than some of the other bigger controllers out there.
Yeah.
But what was going through my mind is this would be the perfect controller that when I brought on a new DJ, like I did with you a year ago, and I was trying... That's been 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh my
Crazy,
goodness.
right? Ooh.
We'll have to talk about the first event, not this.
Not now.
This
That's a
one.
story for another day.
The first event Nathan and I ever DJ'd together, and why we're still here.
It foreshadowed our entire relationship in that one event. I should have left immediately.
You should have.
I should have just
ran.
packed up and ran.
I think I was under the table. I almost crawled under the table at one point, but we'll tell you about that because that's a funny story. But back to the mix deck. So I knew that when one of my goals for my business was to start bringing on other DJs underneath of me so that I could eventually start sending them out for events. And I thought this would be, number one, a great controller to start them on. However, I found by using this controller for the past 2 years, I guess because I had this when you came on, right? It's actually been an awesome controller for me to have just as a DJ in general, and I'll explain why. The second thing was, well, I talked about the price tag. You couldn't beat it compared to the combos that they had out there with controllers and software, because most of the time when you're going to buy a new controller, there will be software that you'll need to use with it. So it comes as a combo pack. I think it was $4.99.
Yeah, $49.99 new.
The next, I think at that time, the next combo pack above that was $800. Now, if I just did this for a hobby and I didn't have to worry about computers, microphone stands, microphones, speakers,
wires
backup
and
equipment,
wires and wires and wires and more wires.
and
There's a
connectors.
lot of wires.
And marketing, not to mention, and that's just the DJ equipment. When you're running your own business, there's the marketing dollars that you spend on business cards, social media, advertising, all that kind of
Websites,
stuff.
everything.
So I really was looking for a deal, and I thought that, wow, this is a deal. Next reason, it's a new mark.
Well, I think even going back into the pricing, if you look at it, it was $4.99 when you bought it 3 years ago. It is still $4.99.
Right.
It has maintained its value for 3.5 years. If you go back 2.5 years or so and look at those other ones that were $800, they're now a lot less than they were because they dated. They aged really quickly. They didn't have all the new high-end things. When you buy that,
Right.
when you buy that highest end thing, then it outdates really quickly. Whereas this is just an extremely reliable and well-built piece of equipment.
Right.
That
Well, yeah, because at $500, even now, it's still such a great deal. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying great deal partially also because it's a new mark, though. Like, I don't think if it wasn't a brand I didn't know, I probably wouldn't have risked. I wouldn't have probably purchased it. The fact that it's a new mark, it was at $4.99, and it came with Serato DJ Intro, that made it like a steal almost, I felt. So in any case, I've always had Newmark. And one of the biggest questions that I get, a lot of DJs ask me about DJ brands.
It's called the Mixed Deck Express, by the way.
And the Mixed Deck Express.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did
So,
I not say that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But we'll have a link to it in
This is why
the
you're here,
description
Nathan.
as well.
So, now I forget what I was saying.
So there's a few reasons that we really like this. If you want to hold it up for a second. So it's light, it's rugged, it's portable, which is definitely one big thing. It's lasted 2.5 years and still looks like the first day we got it. That's a great aspect of it. Another good thing is that Shelly loves having backups. That's her biggest thing. We have a backup of everything at every job, which has proven to be extremely useful. There's jobs we've gotten there, and they're like, oh, we have everything set up for you. We have speakers and stuff for you to plug into. And we get there, and their stuff doesn't work. So guess what? We have backup stuff, and it works out. Or even
So
with the backups,
we not only have the USB ports that you can back up music on USBs, but it also has the CDs.
It has
CD decks.
It has a CD deck on each side, so you can see. So not only do we have the 2 channels we can plug in using Serato, but we can also, and it has the 3rd channel with a normal auxiliary connection, so we can just play iTunes through it if need be. But it also has the 2 CD decks, and we make backup CDs for everything. Now we don't. I hate using CDs. It's so much more difficult to mix with CDs since I didn't start with that. Some people are a lot better with it, but having that available no matter
as a
what.
backup in a case of emergency. Yes, we rarely use CDs. That is the backup, but it's also very fortunate. So not only if, what if something goes wrong with your mixer is, or your controller is still giving you 3 different options of how to play, or 2 different options of how else to play music other than using your computer and your software, which is obviously the primary way that we play music. But not only that, not even saying like, okay, your Serato, which happens a lot. I mean, I've heard from crashes
all the time.
We're lucky. I haven't found this crashes too much with us, but I've definitely heard from numerous DJs about Serato crashing. And partially could be because of the computer that they're using it on. So I don't necessarily know if it's just Serato, but in any case, if your Serato crashes, you can go to CDs. If your CD player is not working and your Serato crashes, you can go to the thumb drive. The other, you can go to your auxiliary channel and use your phone or iTunes. The other thing is, what also happens a lot of times, guests will come up, or maybe your client, because they forgot a certain song and they happen to have the song on a thumb drive. Or like, how many fashion shows where at the last second they're running up to us and handing us their thumb drive or handing us their phone or handing us a CD to play. No matter what, we can play any of those ways. So that's another reason why we love this. Now, going back to the Newmark, I've stuck with Newmark because I think I've owned 5 Newmark controllers, and throughout the years, the only time I ever had a problem was something I created. I remember one time I got soda, and this is where the rule came from. We call it the rule because there's really only one rule. Well, there's 2 rules I have. Don't be late and have fun, and whatever you do not have drinks on the table. Usually because I'm trying to protect them from me hitting something or hitting a drink, and that's what happened to one of my Newmark controllers. I got really upset because this was years ago. It was fairly brand new, and the CD thing didn't, back when the CD deck used to come out, it got stuck. So I'm like, what the hell? Take this back. What's wrong with this controller? It's not working. Here, they were like, miss, you had soda stuck in the deck, which was causing it not to come out.
Before.
Oh, yeah. So that's where it all started.
Oh,
and then I remembered what had happened. I had soda on the table, and it got spilled into the controller. But, so going back to it, other than that, out of all the controllers, the Newmark controllers I've had, never had any problems with them. They've always been awesome, very durable. This one, again, is very lightweight, so that was a big reason. The other big reason that Nathan and I have arguments about all the time, the 2 mic inputs. Especially for the events that we do, if you're a mobile disc jockey, having 2 mic inputs to me is huge. Because we've talked about getting backup controllers that only have 1 or don't even have any mic inputs. But I'm like, Nathan, we can't do that because wedding ceremonies, corporate events, I mean, just fashion shows. I mean, we've run fashion shows where there's been 2 MCs that we have to provide at least 2 microphones for them. So having the 2 mic inputs. And the other reason that's so important is because if, God forbid, something happens to the one mic, it doesn't take you 10 minutes to get another microphone set up. You just hand them and say, here you go.
Yeah.
So the 2 mic inputs is huge. The other thing is, I feel like it really does have a lot of it doesn't have all the fancy bells and whistles. You know, you don't have your special effects on the actual board, but you do have reverse. You can still have your scratch feature. You can still use your EQs for special effects, and you have a bunch of special effects on your software.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing was, again, going back to the size of it. When we did the ceremony this past weekend and we used Joe's Newmark controller, it's a lot bigger than this. And honestly, I feel like for the space that we had, it was probably too big to use for the ceremony. So if you're stuck in situations, this is just perfect because it's so small and compact.
I think another great thing about it too is if you flip it around the other way and show them the outputs.
Oh, yeah.
So you have
Death by controller.
So you see here, not only you have and you have your XLRs, which are here. You have your XLRs, which these are great, go straight to the speaker, go to an amplifier, whatever you have. But then you also have all of these outputs as well. So it gives you a lot of different options as to what you can connect to. We were able to connect. We do a DJ and drums. That's a completely different hour-long topic we can go into one day. But we were actually able to connect. So it was her computer into here, and then through, what are they called again?
The
this is
drum module?
Yeah, we were able to go from here into the drum module through these outputs, through the master out. Which then we were able to go through the drum module, so I was able to get her sound live, and then my output through the drum module also had her music to it.
Right, so we hooked up 2 passive speakers to an amp with XLRs, which are there.
Yeah.
And then we can also hook up another self-powered speaker. Then there's still another master, and then where do we hook your drum module into?
The drum module is through the master. And then also back here you have the auxiliary
auxiliary.
in, which is the iTunes line. You have your extra mic, you have the USB port, and then the power. And it just, overall, it gives you a ton of different options, and we've definitely utilized them all throughout the years. We've done so many different things. We've been able to, when things go wrong, having all these options definitely allow you to be creative and try different things in order to make something work.
Right. And then going back to like the iTunes, because they're probably like, oh, you use iTunes. Yes, I do use iTunes. I primarily use my Serato, but I use my iTunes on my third channel. So I not only have music from my Deck 1 and Deck 2 on my Serato, I have the option to use channel 3 using iTunes.
Yeah.
So I can have 2 songs queued up at once. And there's controllers out there that have 4 channels that a lot of DJs like. So let's talk about that. I love the fact that there's 3 channels. Would I like it if I had a 4th channel? That would be great. But for me and for most of the events that we do, this kind of just works for me. And I love that so basically I'll have the Serato on 1 and 2 and then iTunes in the middle. So I can have 2 songs ready to go, because part of what we do really well is read a crowd. Mm-hmm. And it can be up until the last second that I'm ready to play a song, so I decide like which song I want to go with. Do I think they want to go funk? Do I think that we want to continue with this genre of music? Do I think we want to move to EDM? Do we want to go to top 40? And I just like the convenience of having the 3 channels.
Yeah, there's so many practical uses for iTunes. Like we mentioned earlier, if Serato crashes, it's the program that crashes. iTunes is still up.
Right.
So our Serato crashes, and instead of holy crap, what happens? We literally don't.
Holy crap! What happened?
Like, we don't miss a beat really, because it's just, you just press play on iTunes, you switch to the middle channel and go.
Right.
And nobody notices anything. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
The worst stuff could happen possible, but if nobody notices besides you, it never happened.
I know,
in
and it's
reality.
And it's so funny because I have DJs who say that to me if I mention about iTunes. Oh, you use iTunes? Yes, because of these reasons. Mm-hmm. That is exactly like if your Serato crashes. Sometimes DJs they have to shut down their entire computer and restart it again, and that can take 10 to 15 minutes, even longer. And if you don't have 10 or 15 minutes of music playing at your event, that's like horrible.
Yeah. That's how you get those like really bad review of like wedding DJs. The other thing with it too that's great is when people come up and request something, say like father of the bride comes up and is like, I need this song so we can play it. Well, we have 70,000 songs in our database, but that's not every song. There's still plenty of songs we don't have. So when we have iTunes up, we can either use a hotspot with our phone or connect to the place's Wi-Fi if they have it. But that allows us to just have our computer connected to the internet or playing on Serato. You download the song really quickly on iTunes, you queue it up on iTunes, and you can play the next song coming up.
Right.
So it's if somebody asks for an important song or like we need this dance or we need this, we can have it within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just always like using it. And also, for the most part, I do buy pretty much all of my music because of the type of events that we do. I can't take the chance of playing a song over Wi-Fi because if the connection goes bad.
Yeah.
I can't I don't like ripping it from the internet because I've done that before and I've gotten some songs that have some scratches or they're just bad quality.
Or corrupted audio files. There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
So I just personally, I purchased it's 99 cents a song. Part of that goes to the artist. I feel good about it. Plus I'm getting good quality file. So anyway, why else do we like this?
And the other thing with the iTunes as well is from buying it, it's on the iTunes account. So we have our computers for the company hooked to the same iTunes account. And if she goes and say like Adele's new album just came out, she goes and she buys Adele's new album, and then I'm at a party, well, Adele's new album is already downloaded to my computer through iTunes.
Right.
It's already there. And all of our music is shared between us, so it just makes things a lot easier.
No, I'm just laughing because that one day you were like, where's all this music coming from? Are you downloading all the music you told me to download? And I'm like, I have a little bit of a control problem.
Yeah.
Where I asked Nathan to help me create like playlists and get music for an event, and next thing you know, before he can even get to it, I'm already doing it because...
Yeah. Like, when you pull up iTunes, and if you had bought something, say you bought it on your phone's iTunes account, and then you go on your phone or your computer, if you have auto downloads on, you'll see it, like, downloading. I get on, and it's downloading 15 songs, and it's all the songs she told me to get, and I'm like, okay, I'm still getting paid for this, but,
I know.
Thanks for doing my
Stop
job.
that. I'm working on that. So, what else do we want to talk about? Oh, we wanted to talk about what was happening in DJ news,
Yeah.
which, so, since,
I'm not up to this as much as you are.
I'm not either. Honestly, like, I get the Serato updates of things going on, but I was kind of, since this was our first podcast, I was looking for things that might be interesting to talk about. I was originally hoping that, like, Serato came out with something new, or, which I think they probably have, but I didn't get that far because the first story that came up was how DJ Khaled just purchased this $3.8 million house. And it's so crazy because back in the day when I started DJing, which was it was probably as long as Star Wars. No, not that long.
Oh,
but DJs did not make that much money. There was not Calvin Harris. Like, Calvin Harris was on the Forbes list. Like, it's just crazy how now, and then DJs didn't always produce their own music. We were the ones playing the music that other people produced, and we were the ones who were getting it out there to the world, like playing the new music over the radio. So now the fact that there's DJs left and right making millions and buying these big mansions, and that, you know, Calvin Harris is one of the most well-known, I guess.
Yeah, there's DJs now who are household names. Like, I could go talk to my little brother, or I could go talk to my mother, and they would both know exactly who Calvin Harris is and be able to hum along to his songs, no problem.
Well, my sister Rose didn't know about Calvin Harris. Oh,
That's
my gosh.
ridiculous.
Rose is just so funny. Our musical tastes are so far, like, I don't even know where to start with that. But anyway, she didn't know who Calvin Harris was. I'm like, how could you not know who Calvin Harris is? Like, where have you been living? But anyway, my brother got mad at me because I didn't know who Ronda Rousey was. He was like, do you live under a rock? And I'm like, I don't watch MMA. The only reason I even know about MMA is because of you. So, quick tip. Aren't you the one that's supposed to be running the...
You were still talking. You were still talking. Why am I supposed to dictate what we're doing? Like, did you want me to interrupt you mid-sentence?
No, I'm done.
Okay. This is our relationship right here. This will happen a lot for anybody watching.
We're constantly bickering.
Yeah. Quick tip. So one of her things is that on YouTube she's constantly posting quick tips about different things we come across all the time that we sometimes question and have to figure out ourselves, but everybody loves just searching it on YouTube or Google. So being able to post these quick tips and different things that we come across. So one of the more recent ones that we just came across was
the mix and loop button on the back of your speakers, because I know years ago when I first purchased my set of self-powered speakers, I didn't understand what the mix and loop was on the back of the speaker. So when we came across it and we had to loop our speakers recently, I thought, oh wow, this is probably a really good tip to bring to everyone. So if you have the mix and loop, if you're trying to loop your speakers, so let me back up. So for example, you're hosting or DJing an event where you need more than just your two speakers set up, or for whatever reasons, maybe you only have one other output on your controller and you need to run it off two speakers. Right. You can actually loop one speaker to another one, either using XLRs or quarter-inch cables. Mm-hmm. So we came into that situation when we were practicing our DJing and drums. I forget really why that happened, but we only had the one output.
I had my drum module has two quarter-inch outputs, and I was using one connected to an audio interface so that we would be able to record the sampling of what we were playing along with the video that we were recording.
Right.
So we needed one of our outputs to be for the audio interface, so that meant we only had one output to go for the speakers. So then we had to put a quarter-inch into the one active speaker, and then we loop that to the other active speaker.
Right, and we haven't done that in a while. We haven't needed to do that in a while, so we hooked it up and we were like, why is this not working? And then I remembered, because we need to switch it from mix to loop. So obviously if you push the button into loop, it will allow your speakers to run from one to the next. So
it's not as easy as it sounds, though. It wasn't just like, this is what's wrong, we should go fix that. It's like, after 20 minutes of changing every wire, switching the outputs, trying to figure things out, it's like, hey, look at this button here. How did we forget about this?
Yeah, remember what that does?
Yeah.
But it's so funny because I'm sure you come across it too during your events, just something that you probably haven't done in a long time, which is one of the biggest things that happened to me. I'm still upset about it because I didn't catch what it was right away. When we were playing music for that one event, I think it was the event we did in DC, and the music was coming out muffled, or the sound was not right.
Yeah.
And it's the first thing I should have checked, which is, I feel like a beginner's, is that you're online and not phono on the back of your controller. It's this button, and what happens is when you're moving your controller around from place to place and unhooking wires and hooking back in again, it's so easy for this button to get moved from line to phono.
Yeah.
And if you're on phono, that's when you're hooked into turntables, right?
I believe so.
So it just doesn't sound, the sound sounds muffled, but for the life of me, I just completely forgot about it because it hadn't happened in so long.
Yeah.
That here we were changing wires in and out and moving things back and forth. So, if there's something that's happened to you recently, and a quick tip that you'd like to share with everybody, please let us know because we would certainly love to hear it.
Yeah.
We're constantly troubleshooting, which is, I think, one of the biggest things. I mean, yes, you mix music and you need to read a crowd, but you also need to know how to troubleshoot. It's like one of the biggest things when you're working with
have new assistants, new DJs come with me, I like quiz them on it. I'm like, all right, this is happening. iTunes or like Serato crashes. What do you do? And like just have them walk you through it. Like you need to be able to like think of this stuff. So it's like we do that with each other sometimes, where it's like, all right, if this happens, we do this, or we have the backups of this in case this happens. But like when we're preparing for an event and we're going through all of our equipment, say we have a 4-hour drive somewhere, we're making sure we have everything we need, a backup of everything we need. We think of everything that's ever gone wrong for us, and it's like, all right, now if that happens again, we have what we need to be able to fix that.
And we're ready to go at a moment's notice because it's great. We're not, something doesn't happen and we're like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? We're like, okay, this happened. Move this here, do this, that. So it's always good to be prepared.
I just had New Year's Eve 4 days ago. My laptop, I have it has Beats Audio with it, so it has an audio control panel, and I have it set a certain way for like when I'm sitting in bed listening to music while typing out a paper or something. I have my audio settings set a certain way so that sounds good like in my headphones. But then when I plug that into the system and I'm going from little headphones to massive speakers now and covering an entire area, the bass was way too high, the treble was low, like having the balancing. So another big thing is to make sure you're aware of what is going on with your computer. Like, do you have settings where you can control the different audio and different programs that run that stuff? And that's definitely really important to be able to figure out what's going on, because sometimes I could have been looking at the venue and their speaker, the speaker's messed up, is there something wrong with my lines? But just make sure you have your computer at consistent settings is big as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because you definitely want everything to sound great. I mean, that's why you're there. Like, you want the music to sound amazing, so it's always important to check those stuff.
Yeah.
So what else is that?
There's so many different things we could talk about, but I mean, we've been going for a while now. It's our first week.
Our first episode we finally did it. And it was so funny because I was so going to back out. I'm like, oh, I have so much stuff to do. And he's like, Shelly.
We've been talking about this for months now. Yeah. But I go to school full time on top of working with her. She does this full time, marketing, all these different things that she's always doing. I work another job on top of this. Like, we're both very busy. So I'm on break now, so we were finally able to like get everything together to be able to do it. And now with my semester coming up, I have a certain schedule that's good, and she has time available. So this is definitely like, we're going to try to get doing this podcast every week. It'll be here, like we said, Monday afternoon, 12 o'clock or so. We're going to aim for noon every week. Might not happen all the time, but
running a little late. No, we're going to try our best to be.
Yeah.
I will.
So Eastern Standard Time. if you follow Sounds by Shelly on Facebook here, make sure you do that. You can get alerts. We'll probably post something right beforehand, like we're going live or we're live now, a video that you can click on, be a little introduction, and then it'll link you to here. Or if you're not able to see it, make sure then we're also going to be posting all these live streams to the YouTube channel as well for you guys to be able to see if you can't see it live. There's also all the quick tips, different things from events, our promo videos, all the different stuff that's all on the Sounds by Shelly Facebook page and
the website,
and
the Michelli Entertainment
website.
Yeah.
And all this
well, you
stuff.
can go to soundsbyshelly.com. That's just easier.
Yeah.
But soundsbyshelly.com
if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, links for all of it's there as well.
Yes, please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
So that way we can keep bringing you DJ tips and advice.
Yeah. So we will see you guys same time next week. Hopefully we will have some more viewers, get some comments from you guys about this video. See what you like.
Please let us know what you like, what you didn't like, if there are other topics that you'd like us to cover, if there's a different time that you think.
Yeah.
But once we record them, they're going to go on the channel.
Yeah, they're going to go live no matter what.
So if you missed the live recording, you can watch it on the channel.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So, awesome. All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
See
Happy
ya.
New Year. And we'll see you next Monday.
All right. Bye.